have already covered the theory part of, the GitLab, which is a CI/CD pipeline, as well as we have seen how the theory works with the Terraform, which is a provisioning tool of DevOps. Both are DevOps tools. One is a CI/CD pipeline tool for automation, and the other one is the Terraform, which is the provisioning tool. Now, what we will do in our session today is that we are going to have a live demo or a demo, basically a demo of how Terraform can be integrated with GitLab, and we will produce a pipeline which can be automatically running. We will be automatically running that pipeline, and that pipeline will produce the jobs, and the job will execute to do some provisioning activity of Terraform. Is that fine, or is it too difficult for you to understand at this stage? But let us go there. We will understand it. If not fully, but at least partially, and that can see the purpose of this internship is to not go into the full details, but at least to that level where you get the interest and you know that, yeah, this is the field that I would be interested to pursue my career with. Okay, so let us try to achieve that part. What we are doing to do hands-on on Terraform as on the GitLab pipeline, CI/CD pipeline. Can you see the screen, everyone?
Yes, we can.
So yes, thank you. So that is the structure that we are going to follow. That is, we are going to have our GitLab instance on which we will create a GitLab pipeline. Okay. And on this, we are going to integrate our Terraform with the jobs. So the pipeline will execute the jobs. And the pipeline, the Terraform jobs will, what will it do? It will create something on the AWS Cloud. It will provision some resources on the AWS Cloud. So what are the two resources that we are going to create? Not only two resources, there are 7 resources. But the main two aspect is the S3 bucket. We are going to create an S3 bucket. All this S3 bucket, IAM user, the EC2 instance, how do you create and everything, we have already discussed in our AWS session, right? Is that true? So we are in continuation of that learning process. We are now extending that thing over. We are going to implement that into Terraform over the GitLab. So finally, we are going to put in on the AWS Cloud the resources. So let me go to my cloud. So I am on the AWS console. I have logged in as an IAM user. And just few moment back, you were hearing something about IAM. You have to secure, you have to profile, you have to create a role such that it is you are aligned with the security policy of the company, or whatever it is. We are in the Mumbai region, and in the Mumbai region, I'm going to create one S3 bucket, but not manually. I will do it through Terraform over the GitLab CI/CD pipeline. So right now, I do not have any bucket. The buckets are all the bucket. There are no buckets right now. There are no S3 bucket. I'm going to create the S3 bucket along with some properties, which is to enable the versioning, and as well as with some permissions, which is like, I will allow the bucket to be used publicly. I will make certain provisions that the bucket owner is preferred, such that I can make the ACLs, the control list. All these things were taught. I mean, not taught in full details, but I have discussed that you are having the access control list enabled for the public access, for read write. What I will do, I will I will demonstrate it. You follow it carefully. I will graphically, and whatever needed to create the project will be done over the GitLab. So, so here there are no buckets. Another thing that we are going to create is on the Mumbai region, I'm going to create an EC2 instance. How? Not manually, but through my pipeline and with the help of Terraform scripts. So you will see there are no instances created right now. I'm giving you a preview of what is not there and what will be there after I run the pipeline. So there are no instances. Can you see? There are no instances. But at the same time, for having an instance, I would like to use two things. The key pair. I've already created a key pair by the name DevOps Internship Root. This is the key pair. I'm going to use this key pair and attach it to the instance, such that with this is a fingerprint. This is also part of security. Instead of password, I'm using a fingerprint attached to that instance, so that from outside nobody can access this instance other than the person who knows the key pair or who has the key pair file with him. Like I am the owner of that key pair, I will be able to access the instance from outside. These will be all demoed. Let the instance be created. There is also, for the instance, you need to create security group. Just now you have heard from Mr. Karthik that one aspect of securing your assets or the resources is to create a security group, right? We will create the security. See, these are the existing security group. One is the default and one was already created. I will be creating a security group as a resource, not manually, but over the pipeline. Is that clear? So let us go to GitLab. So far we are very fair. Can anybody explain what we are going to see, or if anybody has any questions, please let me know about the structure, what we are going to do. Anyone having any question? We are going to have a pipeline over the GitLab. We are going to create a project, because in the GitLab, in the GitLab, we have learned that the GitLab is like a complete house where you can have a project started, created. You can manage the project. You can plan for the project. You can verify the code. You can build a package. You can employ the security measures. You can release it and do all these things. So we can create on the GitLab platform. We will create by starting from the scratch. We will create a project, and in that project we will create our pipeline and the Terraform or whatever. Is that fine? We have already discussed about those theory part. So let us go to
think upstairs, right?
Sorry. Any question?
I think Paul's mic is unmute. Okay, muted it.
So you can write me if your audio is not working. Any question? Write the question. Let me continue. I will definitely attend your question. So let us, having understood what we are trying to do, we can go now to our GitLab. Now, as I told you, our GitLab is a totally on the web. I mean, it is providing me with already installed GitLab instance, we are going to use that GitLab server from somewhere in the cloud. We do not need to worry about that. We are going to see the interface, and we are going to use that instance to build our project from the scratch. Let me sign in. You should have an account on the GitLab. That is all that you need. Like the AWS, you need an account to start working on the cloud. Similarly, I will need an account. I have already created my account. So I will sign in. Please let me know if you have some issues in finding out or having the audio or the visual, some problem. So I am logging in into my account over the GitLab. So I have logged into my GitLab instance. You see, this is a graphical interface where this is the home page. That is, if you click on this, you will come back to your projects folder. I mean the projects dashboard. Then you can hide the sidebar, this bar. This is the profiles part. That is, what is my alias name, what is my username, and what is my role. Okay, and all these things. You can set your profile, edit your profile. Then there are few things, like if you check on the left hand side, this navigation bar, you will see that there is projects, the group. You can have a project inside a group, or you can have a project without any group. The advantage of having projects in group is that you will assign members of the project into the group, and that's all. Otherwise, you have to individually assign the members to the projects for each of the projects. And there are other facilities for the groups, because you will assign the role of the members in the group. So all the projects that you attach to the group will be having the set of members or the roles set aside. That is one thing. There is issues. Now, I'm not going to discuss about that. This is almost like the Jira tool. You can manage your project. From the project management aspect, there are tools that is given by GitLab, where you can start using your. So we have to start a project or select a project only when we can use the issues. Issues are nothing but the storyboard. The storyboard is a compilation of all the features that will be developed in that project or that particular product. Okay, I'm not going to discuss that. Our main concern is let's create a project. We are going to create a project, and the discussion will follow. So I'm not creating a project under any group. I'm creating the project standalone. Standalone, that is having everything, but not under a group. Just I will start to create a blank project. Let me give it a name. Name of the project, let me say it is DevOps Internship Terraform and Ansible. So right now I'm not doing Ansible. On the next weekend, I'm going to do the Ansible part. So in the same pipeline, right now I'm adding the Terraform jobs, and I will see my atomic process of how I can provision the resources on the AWS Cloud. On the next weekend, I will add onto that pipeline few more jobs, but that will be for Ansible. So we will have a theoretical discussion, 40-45 minutes on Ansible, and then the rest, 1.5 hours or something like that, we will devote it for building up Ansible jobs on the same pipeline where Terraform is also existing. So we will have a combination of Terraform and Ansible jobs on the same pipeline, and you will see the beauty of it. So I'm giving it a name because I'm going to use the same project. DevOps internship, Terraform. So DevOps GitLab project. Okay. Do you see? I have given the name as like with the gaps and everything, but the project slug, which is the repository, the URL of the repository is https://gitlab.com. Devashish Jiv is the account / DevOps internship, all in small letters, and the gaps are covered with a dash. This is my repository. Okay. I would like to have the visibility level private, and because I don't want to make it public. And the project configuration is, let us create a branch, and the default branch is the main, and that in the branch one first file will be created as readme file, such that the structure of the repository is created. Let us create the project. Please let me know if you have any issues. So what it did was that it had created me, this is the project. And can you see, this is a locked one. That means it is private. The project is very, very private to me. One more thing. Now, once the project has been created, you can manage the project. You can add the activities. You can add members or edit members. You can add the labels. These are project management part. You can manage the issues. You can merge request. You can have all these things under the pinned. So management and the planning. You can plan the issues, the issue board, milestones. It is like a project management. If you are not aware of it, I assume that you are not aware of project management. So I will skip this topic. But what I mean to say is that in GitLab, you have all the features and the modules of having a project start from ideation to delivery to deployment. Every of the phases of a software development lifecycle can be initiated on GitLab itself. You do not need to go anywhere else. Right? Questions? Now, our main concern is the code, and we will code it on the repository, because what we are doing as a part of the code, we need to have the Terraform scripts, as well as we need to have the pipeline script. These two things, because the pipeline will be coded, as I told you, anything that you can declaratively code is the way that you achieve the automation. You do not need to be a programmer. You do not need to be a developer. You do not need to know Java, Python, PHP, anything. You need to know the declarative scripts. If you are good in shell scripting, that is, which is Linux, on the Unix, you do some shell scripting. If you are good at that, you are very good in creating a pipeline on GitLab. Okay, we will do some shell scripting on the GitLab pipeline to create a GitLab pipeline. So I will, and in for Terraform scripts, those are HashiCorp configuration language, HCL, which is not at all a programming language. It is just declarative scripts. In our job ready training, we will learn in details on the scripts. Right now, you may find it a bit not difficult, but something you do not know. Therefore, you are not to be blamed. You do not blame yourself. Just follow me. Assume that whenever you will learn in details about those scripts, you will be finding it very easy, very simple to learn, to understand what I am doing. So I went to the repository. What is a repository? Like the GitHub. If you have any idea of GitHub, you will have branches where the developers or the DevOps guys or anyone will store their files, store their code. It is it is called a repository. If you store your Docker images, that repository is called Docker Hub. Like in GitHub, you store your Git files or trackable files, version control files. So those are, or the source code, those are called the GitHub. It is a repository. Similarly, it's a Docker Hub. Okay. GitLab also has a repository. You do not need to go to Docker Hub. You can store your Docker images. We have not learned about Docker. We will do it next weekend. Okay. This is the fourth session. The fifth session we will have Ansible on GitLab. On the sixth session we will have Docker. So you will learn at that point of time what is Docker and what we are talking about. Right now, you do not need to worry about it. So if you can create an image of Docker, you can also store it under the GitLab. There is a GitLab registry. So you do not need to go. So GitLab is like a departmental store. When you enter the store, you get from a pin to an elephant. You get everything. So similar is the environment or the system provided to you with a GitLab instance. You get everything with it. So I have come to my repository, and can you see a main branch, which is the default and which is a protected branch? And there was, while I was creating the project, there was a readme.md file. Okay, that was created. So file was there, therefore a branch is created, and the branch is called the main branch, on which we are going to create our files. Now let us follow this document. Here I will create some, you see on the yellow background, whatever the files are called Terraform configuration files, which is out of HashiCorp configuration language called HCL. You may not know all these things, but I will create those. First of all, let me create a folder. I will create a new directory, and I will create a directory called Terraform. So a folder is created. I will just commit. See, anything that you do on a GitLab, it is like a GitHub. You have to, any changes that you do, I can do everything over using the Git commands, but GitLab does not need me to give some Git commands. It can be graphically done. It is much more convenient. Those who do not know those Git commands, doesn't matter. You can still work in the project. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a Terraform folder. I'm saying I'm committing this into the repository, saying with a message. And the message is created a folder by the name Terraform. Okay, just a message, the commit message, and I'm committing this on the branch called main. Okay, and I will say create directory. So immediately you will see that GitLab has created a directory successfully. So I will come back to my repository. This is the project repository, the root folder or the repository. And can you see a Terraform folder created? This is the symbol of a folder. So you go to that folder. I will click on that folder. There is a .gitkib. I will not discuss that. It is automatically created. It is part of the Git technology. Now, I will like to create one file, the Terraform file. I know many one may not be understanding in full. Even if you don't understand, don't worry. Okay. It is just you keep on observing what is happening. I have just now created a Terraform folder on my project repository. And under this folder, I'm creating a new file, Terraform file. I'm naming it as the name as provider. See, a new file is getting created under the main branch, and the folder is Terraform. I'm naming it as provider.tf. Okay. So provider.tf. TF, why I'm saying it's a Terraform file. Whenever I give something like a .tf, it will automatically, the system will automatically understand, GitLab will understand that it's a Terraform file. You will see when I write it. What I do, this is an inbuilt editor provided within the GitLab itself. So I will just copy it. I will explain you a bit, not in full because it is not in scope. What I am doing here right now is I am saying to Terraform, and one more thing, did I install Terraform anywhere? I'm writing just the script. Don't worry, I do not need to install Terraform, the software. I do not. I will use an image of Terraform as a Docker image and include in my GitLab pipeline. That's all that is needed. That image or that application, Terraform application, will run the Terraform codes. That is the beauty of, I do not need to do a single installation anywhere. Everything is done for me. I just have to write the script. So I'm informing Terraform that Terraform, my provider is AWS. Okay. And I would like to download all the provider, the AWS plugins from where? From some place in the account. So this is in the HashiCorp account on the Docker Hub. HashiCorp is the inventor of Terraform. HashiCorp company has given us Terraform. So the AWS plugins, because as we have discussed in our theory, that you need the plugin. Otherwise, how will Terraform know which cloud you are talking to or you are doing that? So we will do it with the plugins of AWS. That is what we are informing. And the plugins version will be either 5 or more than 5. And also one important thing is the desired state, the state file. Now I am not going to store it locally because to store a state file locally is very risky. Just now you have learned in cybersecurity that you have to provide the security, and state file is one of the very, very vulnerable one of the files. If somebody tampers with that file, your entire Terraform thing can go wrong. So I am making a backend provision that in the internet as an HTTP API. So it will be called with an REST API. So only those applications who has an access to that. My GitLab will have an access to that address, to that internet address HTTP. Okay. So no one else will be able to access the state file. So I am saying that my state file, the backend will be over the internet as an HTTP API call. And my provider is AWS. And in the region, this is a mandatory parameter. And with the provider, I need to specify which region of AWS do you want to access? And I say I want to access Mumbai region. This is nothing but Mumbai. Mumbai. Why? If you go here, this is my Mumbai region. And what is Mumbai region? You can see AP South 1, isn't it? What is the ID? The region ID? AP South 1. So that is what I am mentioning over onto my provider. That my provider is AWS and the region that we are going to use is AP South 1. That's all, which is Mumbai. I will now like to save it because you are directly writing on the repository. I will say a commit message. What is the commit message? I'm saying created Terraform configuration file. Do you think this is any complicated language? This is not a language. This is a script that is called a HashiCorp configuration language. So which is HCL. Simple, but you have to know how to do it.
Yeah.
We will learn it. So create a Terraform configuration file. I can mention that file name is provider. So this is just a commit message, nothing else. You can give any message and I will say commit the changes. Without committing the changes, you will not be able to save it on the, you see, you are doing it on a version control GitLab instance. Okay. So you have to commit it. You have to follow the Git architecture or Git technology. So your file has been successfully created. So one file has been created. Fine. Up to this point of time, anyone has any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Uh, First, I just want to know the main difference between the GitLab and the GitHub. And
Okay.
secondly, just want to know in terms of the Terraform, how do you write this configuration file, or like, do you have any resource you can refer someone to so that
Yes,
somebody
yes,
can learn how to
yes.
write these
We are
files? Yeah.
going to learn this in details in our, so the scope of this internship sessions are very limited. Okay. We have a full-fledged course, which is for 6 to 7 weeks, 2.5 hours each day from Monday to Friday. There we will have all these tools, DevOps tools, including AWS Cloud as well as the Linux.
Okay, so is the only AWS Cloud? Do you guys do Azure?
We are having the course with our students with AWS,
Okay, for now.
not with
So,
Azure.
okay.
Here is the thing. Normally, see, you know the sorry, Mr. Devashi, if you allow me for
Yeah,
2 minutes.
sure.
So, we design our course to make that course shortly and precise, because most of our students, they needs to get the job very quickly. So we design our course in such a way that with that, after completion of the course, they can land on a job very quickly without any
Exactly.
waiting. And we carefully choose those tools which have most use tools in the market, or which have
Mm.
most job portion. Like in total DevOps job role, 60% company or projects are there involving AWS,
Exactly.
30% is Azure, and 20% are REST, like 10% are REST, including GCP, Oracle Cloud, and the rest. So
Okay.
to make most of our students, make them available for most of the job in the market, we choose AWS.
Well, I mean, yeah, that could, you could be right, but based on the current stats, it shows that Azure is gradually or is quickly kind of like closing up on AWS. Most of the jobs I see nowadays are people that have Azure experience. I mean, I've had like 5 interviews in the past,
Mhm.
let's say 2 months, and basically they're mainly Azure. You know.
See, Azure, when 2019, when Azure bring that Azure DevOps, Azure get the good market capture. Like they capture at least 30% of the AWS job market, and they got a good in even they got the US government contract as well. But the
Yeah,
issues with the
most of the government jobs are on Azure.
okay, yes. Now, but again, within a couple of 6 7 months, again AWS is capture its back. So right now Azure DevOps is again getting more and more traction, as is getting little bit famous. True, your question is your concern is totally right. But if you consider the whole for last 3 4 years,
Hmm.
then AWS is much more have much more availability in the job market. We it is be very much unwisely just if we for us if we just consider for last 6 months, because last 6 months in the with the help of AI and
Hmm.
Azure DevOps, these two tools
Hmm.
helping Azure to get more and more projects. But we are not sure that how many days it will and, they sustain. And another part is most of the government project, yes, but 2019 for certain period of time Azure win the race, but AWS give another separate thing that Amazon Gov, AWS Gov, that is unparalleled, and that is the
Well,
reason,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you might be right, and I wouldn't want to hold. I mean, I wouldn't want to hold a class from
No, that's
the,
fine. This is a discussion
yeah.
session.
So,
There's nothing
but
wrong.
Yeah,
from
we have
what
to
I
discuss.
understand, because I just I attended a cybersecurity summit recently, and I mean, the cloud business is now moving from just single cloud to multi-cloud, So
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
most organizations are now getting into multi-cloud because each of them have maybe something that they're very good at, So it's
True.
always good for you to mix it up, So that's the reason why I'm saying maybe that's I'll say just take it as a feedback from me that maybe you guys might need to think towards that line in terms of multi-cloud architecture or multi-cloud kind of system whereby depending because I mean AWS started first and AWS is kind of still the leader, but from what I know, based on Gartner and everything, if you check it now, you see that Azure is quickly closing up on AWS. So I see in the next 5 years, Azure might be the first.
Now, your concern about a multi-cloud approach, that is 100 or maybe more than 100% true. Because right now you cannot rely on a single cloud, and even if you are, developing, or suppose for last couple of weeks we have developed one application for one of our clients, and we had to use Azure, uh, AWS, and GCP the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, because GCP will, Google is not going to allow to use their API until unless you are using GCP, right? So,
Yes.
multi-cloud approach is unavoidable, and your
Mm-hmm.
concern is truly
Valid.
right. Yes, and then maybe
Mm-hmm.
we need to think about to introduce at least couple of component in our course content for Azure as well to complete the
yeah.
multi-cloud.
At least we can include. See, GitLab is very good, but we can also try out to see how it goes with the Azure DevOps, which is also a pipeline,
Yes.
CI/CD pipeline, because it has the AI component as well.
Paul,
Okay.
So
if you can stick with us for next couple of weeks, you will find we will bring some changes.
Okay.
And thank
Sounds
you
good
for
to me.
that.
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Good
Thank
suggestion.
thank
Mm-hmm.
you for this suggestion, because we are looking for this suggestion, because we do have a consultancy and we are doing marketing for many of our students and consultant, and we have communicate with many recruiters market in the market to
Mm-hmm.
understand their what is their requirement right now. Uh, and it's true, Azure is getting more and more traction because of this particular tool set with helping with AI and this mm, copilots as well as Azure DevOps.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Go
And one
ahead.
more thing is, we are getting students from various streams, even not purely from IT background. Mostly we get, if there are 100% students, then we almost get 70% of the students out of IT. Now, to give them a flavor of multiple clouds from the very beginning, so what it becomes very hard. It becomes very difficult for them to pick it up. So
Mm-hmm.
we train them on AWS in such a way that they will get that the cloud technology is not going to change. Yes, the services that AWS provides, maybe they have a different way of approach. Let's say cloud, cloud formation versus the bicep in Azure. So both are sort of provisioning, auto provisioning of the service of the resources on the cloud platform. For AWS, it is cloud formation. For Azure, it is bicep. Okay, but the technology will remain the same. Yes, the products are different, the services are different. So we give them a feel of, if you know this cloud, to pick up Google Cloud or Azure Cloud won't be difficult, because the underlying technology will remain all the same. The jargons will remain the same. Only what are the services and how do you use those services may vary, will vary.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. Great question.
You're welcome.
So what I do, so what we were discussing, that yes, we are preparing our Terraform scripts to work with the AWS plugins, because we are going to work on AWS. I'm ready to see what is happening, because I have no instances created. I will create an instance. I have no S3 bucket created. I will create this through the Terraform. Let's do that. So one thing done. I will come back to my Terraform folder, to my folder. And after this, can you see immediately after I have given provider.tf, immediately the HashiCorp, that logo has been already provided or has been attached to that file. GitLab is intelligent enough to understand that this is a Terraform file, Terraform configuration file from HashiCorp. So I will like to produce one more file, new file, and let me see what's the name that I have given. s3bucket.tf. So I will copy this. I will give it a name, s3bucket.tf, sorry. And then I will also copy this part. I will try to make you understand, but it is okay. Yeah, I will do it in shortcut. Let me do this. I will come back because the screen is a bit small. So I will say created Terraform configuration file, and the name is what is that? S3 bucket.tf. Any message I can give, that is the commit message, and I will commit the changes. I will come back to this file because I need to explain a bit.
So this file, is it created with it looks like JSON file.
It is sort of a key value pair. Yes, it is a JSON file, but it is some sort of YML format.
Oh
YAML
yeah,
format.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you have to give a space indentation properly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a key under this key. So the main key is resource. Under this is the key, and the value is this. So this is the block. Anyway, I will just edit it because then your screen is a bit bigger. I will just go through it and explain you what I'm doing. Can you see the screen, or shall I make it a bit bigger?
Can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I made it a bit bigger, or if you can see this one, that is okay. So first of all, what I'm doing is I'm creating AWS S3 bucket I'm creating an AWS S3 bucket. This is the way to, this is a Terraform script. I know what is the resource type. The resource type is always starting with AWS, and the resource type is AWS S3 bucket. This is an internal name. I am giving the bucket. This is a mandatory parameter or property. So resource will have a property. This particular resource will have a property called bucket, and I have to mention that what is the name of my bucket. So I'm saying my S3 bucket DevOps internship, some name, and I am following some convention because I cannot give a bucket with a capital letter. I cannot have anything called underscore. I have to give a dash, a hyphen, and a combination of alphabets and numerics. Now, the second thing is I'm giving a property. The property is versioning configuration. I'm making the status enabled. So the bucket is version enabled. So whatever you store in that bucket as object, like the files or the files, basically, they are version enabled. What is that? You can go back to the older version if your current version is not working properly. So you have a tracking mechanism like any version control tool. So my bucket is version enabled. Otherwise, by default, just 1 minute. By default, can you see the screen? Because there was some. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the status is enabled. Otherwise, by default, it is always disabled. So it is by default, it is disabled. You cannot bring back this enabled to disabled again. Suppose you wanted to, so D should be capital. You cannot make it come back to disabled. You can maximum go to, from enabled, you can go to suspended. You can suspend, maximum you can suspend the bucket versioning configuration. So it will not enable the versioning, but it will not be totally disabled. Again, from suspended, you can come back to enabled. So this I will see the effect. Another resource I'm creating is called the bucket is AWS S3 bucket ownership control. Now this is the resource type. I have to know the resource type, and there are enough documents in Terraform to help me know and get this example, exactly the example I want. I will get. There are ample examples, so no need to worry. These are the scripts already there, and believe me, our students, when they do our capstone project involving all the tools that they have learned, so they will integrate within the pipeline of CI/CD. They will integrate all the tools, and they feel so excited about after they complete the project with my help, with our guidance, with our mentorship, that they really feel very confident about this. So then whatever they have learned till this point of time before they have done the project, like the tools separately, now when they assimilate their knowledge into one big project, they feel really like they have done something. And with that valuable experience of getting a capstone project done within the course, they feel so confident that most of our students, they find those interviews when they attend, it is like a cakewalk. Not for all. I have to be very honest. Many students come from a different background, so few of them are very quick to pick up things, and few of them, they will take a bit of time. So I will always suggest that please do the project at least 2 to 3 times, changing few parameters here and there, and see whether the project can be completed. Okay. So once they do it, they feel a lot of confidence. So all these things, like how they do it, where they get all these scripts from, and of course we have lots of documents that we have produced for easy reference. Because see, when you go to the internet and go to HashiCorp site to find out the documents are so large. most of the students or most of somebody will lose interest and will get confused. Link after the link after the link after the link. So they may get lost. Whereas if they follow a document, the step-by-step guide, each and every step highlighted, so they find it very convenient to follow. So what we are
Question.
doing here, yeah,
Got a quick question. I just want to know, for you to be a DevOps engineer, something like that, do you really need to know how to code?
exactly not. So do you think that this is, I have also, I know a lot of Java, a lot of, I mean, other languages, but C, C++, but do you think that I didn't even try to code this? This is not even a code. This is sort of a declarative script. What I did, I just went to the HashiCorp document site and the documents. I picked up this example because I wanted to change the object ownership, because the object ownership by default will be your bucket owner restricted. Okay. But you see, if I do not make the bucket owner preferred, I will not be able to change my access control list. And access control list is the policy that a bucket cannot be accessed from outside by public. But unless and until I make this owner preferred, that means I have a preference to assign the bucket to be used by public, I will not be able to take out the public access block or the bucket SEL. These are the things that we are going to learn. So we have changed the bucket ownership to bucket owner preferred with this particular resource. Another one is we are creating S3 bucket public access enable. Otherwise, by default, the public access is blocked. The block public ACLs will be true. This will be true. The public block public policy true. Ignore public ACLs true. Restrict public. So that means all these four parameters will be restricted. So from outside as a public, you will not be allowed to use the bucket to create files, to write on the files, or to create folders and all the stuff, to have your images and all the stuff stored. So once I make it false, that means I have taken out the block of public access. You see, the resource is AWS S3 bucket public access block. I have taken it out. This is the properties. Then the next one is AWS S3 bucket ACL. So I am now, the last stage is to provide, otherwise the S3 bucket ACL is only read for public and not even read. So there won't be anything. But since we have allowed the public access, and now I'm giving the public read write access to ACL. For which bucket? This bucket. The bucket is reference with the bucket ID. So the bucket resource, the internal name dot ID. You see, the bucket AWS S3 bucket is the resource type. My S3 bucket is the name of the bucket internal name, and the ID is the ID. So it will refer to exactly that bucket that you have created. The bucket name is my S3 bucket DevOps internship. Is that part clear? So we have done this. One more Terraform file. So let me, now we have updated this. So I don't think I have done any changes, but anyway, I will commit this. So with each commit, your changes have been committed successfully with a version number or a commit ID. You see, this is the latest commit that I have done. Now, so I will go back to Terraform folder. I will create one more Terraform file. This time I will create something So the file name is SG. So I'm creating a security group. I'm creating a security group. I'm creating a security group and I've named it very simple security group.tf. The name does not matter. Name actually does not matter, but you have to end with a .tf extension. Otherwise, it will not be considered as a Terraform file. For the sake of this thing, I will just copy. I will explain you what I'm doing. I will just copy it and paste it over here, and I will have to do it. I will explain you. Created Terraform configuration file, and the file name is sg.tf. Okay, and I will commit. And after I have committed, once it has saved with a version, with a commit ID, this is the version you can say. And I will now go back to my Terraform folder. What I will do is to open it up with an editor. So sg.tf, I will open it with an editor and the single file editor. If it is too much of a practical, demo, you will please let me know. You can stop me. I will not stop. Just joking.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
So this file, file, you got it from Terraform, the template. Is that where you got
No.
the template?
I am not using any template. Yeah, you can say. The question is whether GitLab is providing this template or.
No, the question is this configuration file that this one, there's the security group.
Yes.
Is this something that, okay, let's say you want to configure security group using Terraform, you can go to the website, the HashiCorp website, and you find a template like this.
Template or an example, you can say an example. They have given lots of examples. You have picked up your example as per your, or you can pick up any example and adjust it, customize it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you are correct. Absolutely correct. I have done the same. Everyone does the same thing. Don't worry. It is not only me or anyone. So it is just a copy paste. Copy paste is one of the biggest technology in IT.
Okay.
Just joking. So security group creation. This is like a security group, as Mr. Karthik was saying, it is a firewall. You want to protect your EC2 instance with certain rules, certain inbound and outbound rules. So any traffic that follows that inbound rule will be allowed to get inside your instance or the server. If it does not follow the rule, it will not be allowed. As simple as that. Like you are entering your office. Okay. If you are an employee of that office, you produce an identity card that, yeah, you are identified. So you are allowed. Your gate opens, you get inside this. But now you have come to your office premises. Okay. You have entered your office, but you are on the 5th floor. You cannot enter your office, office room where you sit, where is the cubicle, because on the gate again you have to produce one thing. Will that be a firewall or something else? The firewall allowed you to enter with a particular identification that is called authorization. Okay. Now authorization has been done, so you were allowed to get inside the building. But once you try to access your office room, there is one room, particular room where you are getting into your department. Now there is again a door. There will again be something to validate your entry. So the gate will open up to allow you entrance. Will that be a firewall or something else? Anyone? Sorry? What is that security uh, access called?
Authorization.
Authorization, you have already been authorized to get inside the building. Now there is one more part.
The authentication.
Authentication, yes. And that authentication will be done through your fingerprint, some biometric, whether it's a scanning of your retina or scanning of your fingerprint or some other, it can be some other identity card will be there. There will be a scan code or something. It can be anything. But that is called authentication. So that the final level of this. And what is in AWS that is called in that cloud is called as, what is that term? Authentication is the process. What is that term? Like here, the authorization is done through the security group, AWS security group. You are creating a AWS security group as the resource. What is that called?
Just finish.
That is anyone having a knowledge, and that is called.
What was the question though?
The question is like here I'm saying you are authorized with a security group with certain rules, ingress and egress. These ingress are the inbound rules. What type of traffic will come in to that server and what type of traffic will go out of the server? My question was, what is the one which is to do with your,
You like firewall?
yes, tell me.
IAM.
Not
What
IAM.
is please?
Not
Are you
IAM.
asking for the
You are
tool or the
almost there.
process?
You are almost there. You are almost there. The fingerprint. I'm giving you the hint. The fingerprint. And what is that fingerprint called in AWS? With that fingerprint, you are allowed to access your server. Like fingerprint is a replacement of your password. You have a login and a password, but password is not secured at all. However big encryption it can be,
M file.
password is
MFA.
M file.
Multi-factor authentication.
which file did you say? I didn't get you.
PEM. Oh,
Are you saying IAM?
no, PEM. PEM.
Oh, PEM file. Correct. You are correct. Exactly. That PEM file is nothing but a key pair. Key pair.
Oh.
The key pair is the term. So the very beginning, I have told you that I have already created a key pair in my Mumbai region, and that is the called DevOps internship route. That is a PEM file. Yes, of course. Very good. Some encrypted fingerprint that is assigned to this. That will be assigned to when I create the instance. Very good. So the authorization with the security group and then authentication with the key pair is your security level with which you will be entering or accessing your instance. So before I create an instance, I'm creating this security group. What I'm doing, what is the resource type? The resource type is AWS security group. And don't worry, this example, I have taken it from the HashiCorp site of Terraform. So, and I've given it a name. And the physical name I have given as Internship SG. And a security group should have a VPC. On a VPC, a security group cannot be created like that on the fly. So it needs to be attached to a virtual private cloud. So that virtual private cloud I did not create, but I have taken up. What did I do? I went there. I went to the VPC of Mumbai region. Mumbai is a region. It has to have a cloud VPC. So I have picked up the default VPC ID. My network is a bit slow. So I will go to your VPCs. Can you see the VPC ID is VPC-C4E4EBAC. So VPC is C4E4EBAC. So I've copied it such that this VPC is getting used by the security group. A security group cannot be created without a VPC. And then I'm describing the ingress, the inbound rule. What is one inbound rule? That I will allow the HTTP traffic. HTTP traffic is on the port from port 80 and to port 80. You know that. The protocol should be TCP. And I have a CIDR block. I'm not blacklisting or whitelisting any of the devices. So I'm allowing any IP address of any number to come inside and get the traffic from anywhere to come inside. So it is called anywhere. Traffic from anywhere, any IPv4 address. Okay. Similarly, there is another ingress SSH. Without SSH, that is a connectivity to be connected to any instance, any server from outside, whether you have Windows terminal or a Mac terminal. You want to connect to your cloud to one EC2 instance. So will you connect with HTTP? No. You will connect with secure shell connectivity. That is coming with an open SSH suite of tools. Sorry. That is coming with open SSH suite of tools. There are many utilities under the open SSH tool. One of them is SSH. Oh, okay. Now, so there I am saying you have the port 22. This is the famous port for SSH.
Mm-hmm.
So you will be connecting from port to port and the protocol remains TCP. TCP is one of the 7 OSI layers. Okay. Anyway, so this is outbound. Outbound, I am not restricting for any protocol. Here I have restricted SSH, which is a TCP, and a HTTP, which is also a TCP. But here for outgoing, I have not restricted any protocol. So -1 means any protocol, whether it's TCP or UDP or any traffic. So that will be done. Basically, this is any traffic. And I have given it a name as internship_SG. I am very happy with this. I will just commit this, commit the changes. Okay. I don't think, yeah, there were a few comments I have put in. So the changes were committed. Now I will go back to Terraform. I will do my last coding. What is that? I have to create an EC2. All these things I have done because I wanted to create an EC2 instance, my server. So for that, I am using Terraform to create my server on AWS. So what is the name that I have given? I think I have given EC2. Yeah, EC2. It's a small one, so no worries. EC2.tf, and here I will put in the code. So what I did is the resource is because here it is in the single frame, so it is I can explain that. The resource type is AWS instance. I've given it a name, internal name. There are 5 mandatory parameters without which you cannot create your EC2 instance. One is the AMI, the operating system. The operating system, I have used the operating system as Ubuntu Linux 24.04 of the Mumbai region, because region to region the AMI IDs will vary. Okay, so you have to be very particular. You cannot arbitrarily put from any region and put it over here. It has to match. Let me see whether it matches. So if I go to EC2 quickly, and instances, and if I go to launch instance, just to manually check whether my AMI ID was correct. So this is my OS image, the operating system image. Just give me 1 minute. My router is getting slow. I would like to bring it nearby me. So just for the timing, just give me 1 minute. I'm coming back. So I will go back. So here I will select this Ubuntu, the operating system for the region Mumbai. It is still a bit slow. Okay, can you see that there is an AMI ID 0522AB 0522AB6E. Let us check the last 6. CC7055. So CC7055. So isn't it that I have picked up this AMI ID such that this particular operating system, which is Ubuntu 24.04, is attached to my instance when it is created. And also the other thing is I am giving the key name. Remember what is the key name? This is the one. I am attaching the fingerprint, the PEM file. Somebody told the PEM file. Yes. The instance type is T2 micro. I am giving the size of the server. It's a micro. Or you can make it medium as well. So let me make it medium. So it's a bigger machine. And the VPC security group IDs is the particular security group that we have created, that particular ID I am referring to. And the subnet ID, I have picked up the subnet ID again. If you go cancel it, if you go to VPC, because subnets are part of the VPC. Subnets are nothing but the data centers, right? So I will go to the subnets. There are in this region, Mumbai, there are 3 default subnets, 3 default data centers. I have picked up the first one, which is, I think, yeah, it is AP South 1A. So I have picked up this one. So just copied and pasted it over here. And I've given a tag name, this one, EC2 instance. Fine. So I will commit this. Created Terraform configuration file. And the file name is ec2.tf. And I will commit the changes. So my Terraform part is done. I do not have anything more to do. What I did, I have a provider file. I have a provider file which will give all the information to create the backend state file, and I'm creating and all the plugins of AWS, then S3 bucket with all the properties and permissions, and then created the security group, and after that we have done the EC2. That was my main target. And if you check on the operate part on the left hand side, if you check the Terraform states right now, I have not yet, because I have not run the job. So the Terraform state is not created. So there are no Terraform states. We will do that. Now we will do that in our code, go to the repository, and finally I have to code my GitLab pipeline, because on the pipeline will be your Terraform jobs. So what will I do on the root? On the root, you have to create the new file and the configuration file of GitLab, the main file that, and it's a YAML file, .gitlab ci.yaml. This is the one, it is always the same name. And for that, it is trying to say that you can apply a template, but no, I will do it on my own. I will just pick it up from here. I will just copy it. I will explain you what I'm doing quickly. I will quickly save it because I want to show you. Created GitLab CI CD pipeline file, and the pipeline file is, of course, it is named as .gitlab ci.yaml file, and I will commit the changes. You see the file has been created successfully. And now I will edit this with edit single file so that I can get a more area to explain. That is the last file, because on this lies our how automation we are doing. So here we are declaring the variables. See, always a YAML file will start with a dash dash dash. The variables, these are the 3 variables that I'm creating. The tfdir, that is the Terraform directory, where CI project directory is the system environment variable, which will hold my project directory, that whatever the name I've given, a big name. Under that, there is the Terraform folder. State name, I am given a state name by this name, DevOps Internship Terraform state. And this is the address of the API call to the state file. That can only be done with GitLab. I'm hiding my, I'm securing my state file such that it is not accessible to anyone else who does not have an access to my project and who does not have an access to that particular address. So that API call will be conducted over into this. This is a REST API call, and it will access the state file. The state name is the dollar is to interpolate the value inside that variable. And this is the CI, to identify which project it is. You get the project ID, but you do not hard code it. You get it from your environment variable with a dollar. And these are the stages of my pipeline: validate, plan, apply, destroy. When we will do the Ansible on the next weekend, we will have one more stage. Okay, but we are not doing it right now. An image. So that is what I'm saying. I have not installed our Terraform anywhere, not even on the GitLab instance. What I'm doing, I am just using a Docker image from HashiCorp's site called Terraform and the light version of it. So by doing this, by importing an image, by pulling an image from the Docker Hub, I am ensuring that on my pipeline, I can execute all the Terraform code on the Terraform files using the Terraform executable. Are you getting me? And this is the before script. All these things we will learn. Before script is something which can be run before before any job. It is like these are the jobs in the stage validate. And what is the script you are running? So before you run this script, the before script will be executed. What does the before script do? It is initializing the Terraform. Why? What it is doing over here, reconfiguring, it is going to that particular address to pick up the state file. And also it will initialize all the plugins, the AWS plugins. So at this stage, what will be executed? Can anybody tell me which Terraform script will be executed? My question is, which Terraform file, configuration file will be executed? Who will give all the details of what is the plugins, where is the plugins to be downloaded, and in which region, all this stuff? What was the file? Can anybody name it? The provider file will be executed, the provider.tf, which provides the information of the AWS plugins. So with those plugins, Terraform will be initialized, and the backend will be created in this particular address, and that address is nothing but this particular address, the entire endpoint. Okay, so the Terraform init is called every time your job is run. So the validate, whether the job is on the validate stage or on the plan stage, on the apply stage, or on the destroy stage, every time your Terraform init will be called, because it's a before script. So it will run before the script. And what is the script? This is one simple command. What will Terraform validate do? It will validate all the Terraform files, whether the configuration is syntactically correct. What will Terraform plan do in the script? So this is a shell script. The way you run it on a Terraform installation bed, it will be the same. You are doing it over the pipeline as a job. The job is this one. So there are how many jobs? Validate job, plan job, apply job, and destroy job. So here you plan it before you apply, and there is a dependency with the validate job, because this job has to completely successfully before this job can be run in the pipeline. Again, the apply job will apply the Terraform script of the resources that it is going to create. Okay, it will automatically approve. I do not need to be interactively working on it. No, it will not pause for me to say, yes, I want to continue. No, because it's an automation pipeline. It should not wait for any intervention. The dependency on the planned job. So, unless and until the planned job is successfully executed, it will not go to apply job. And finally, we have a destroy job. Destroy means whatever resources we have created will be destroyed because I'm happy with my plan of execution. I had successfully created my S3 bucket with all the properties and permissions, and I have also successfully created my security group and successfully created my EC2 instance. If I am happy with that, I don't want to keep the job, keep the resources open. I want to destroy it. And can you see one thing? I have run each and every job manual because I wanted to check before I do it. I take it either you say manual or you say always. What will always do? That means it will automate. It will not stop for your manual running of the job. But initially, I would like to see whether it is running perfectly well. But destroy, because destroy is a dangerous thing, I will always do it manually after I have got all the approvals from my testing team, from my UAT team, and everyone. Any question? I have almost completed my simple thing, the pipeline. See how simple is the pipeline. It is like if you have learned Jenkins, you will see the pipeline, the scripting pipeline is quite complicated. Here I am using shell commands, just the shell commands. Terraform apply, Terraform init, Terraform validate. These are as it is the command that you run on your shell with the Terraform installation. Here I have the image of Terraform, and that Terraform runs my this shell commands, Terraform plan, Terraform apply. So let us see what happened. I am now going to create, the coding part is over. I will go to my build and I will see my pipelines. Oh, because I have done some change onto my GitLab in the, not change. Did I make any change? Let me check. I will go to my repository. I think I have given some comments. I should not give. The YAML does not take any comments like that. Did I give anything? Yeah, no, nothing else. So because I have committed it, so it was creating another pipeline. So anyway, I will go to this build and under the pipelines, I will check. So the latest one I'm going to execute. And you see all the jobs, like first stage was validate, second stage was plan, third stage was apply, and the last stage was destroy. But you can you see these are all skipped because the entire thing was done manual. I will click on this and you will see there are 4 jobs in the pipeline, 4 jobs. A validate job, plan job, apply job, destroy job. On the stage validate, plan, apply, destroy. Can you see there is a dependency? After validate it has run, there is this link. It will start the plan. But now it will not automatically do because I have done manual. Because I wanted to check. So I will click on this. I'm running it. Sorry, let me go back. I have to do the run over here. I started the run for the validate job. You see something is getting run. So I will click on this. I will get a a screen of what is happening. Okay, now it is saying that there is some access issue. Can you say what is that? Just a wild guess, a very wild guess. See, Terraform is external to AWS. AWS is a cloud environment. I'm trying to do something, manipulate or create resources on the cloud. Will AWS allow me without a proper access mechanism? What do you think? So when it is trying to, you see Terraform version, it has executed Terraform version, whatever it is, fine. It is trying to initialize the backend, but it did not. What it is saying? The HTTP remote state endpoint requires authentication, auth. Did you give any, did you put in any effort to make Terraform or to let Terraform say that, yeah, you are authenticated to access my account on GitLab, on AWS? See, it is trying to access the Mumbai region with my account. So did I give the credentials, security credentials, information into my GitLab environment? Did I? So did I give my I will come to the IAM, identity and access management. You see, identity and access management. There is the security credentials. To access this account ID, I need some access credentials. So those access credentials are this one. But did I give that? I did not. So I have to make some arrangement, right? What do I need to do? I will go to my settings. I will first of all create my access token. Okay, this project has no active access token. I cannot use my project without any access token. So I'm adding a new token. I'm giving a token name as whatever. I'm just saying capital token. And let it be expiration date of 1 month. I have definitely a role of owner. And I'm saying that I would like to have a scope. Kubernetes I'm not using. Read repository, yes. Write repository, yes. Registry I'm not using, so I can leave that. I'm not using any AI features, so my scope is limited to all these things. So, or else I can use all of them. That's fine. So you create a project access token, and so I have given. You see, I have been given a token like this. I will copy this, and what I will do, I will go to my CI/CD. So a project access token by the name token has been created. I will go to my CI/CD. I will go to my variables, expand it. I will go and add the variable. One variable is the visibility. I will not have any visibility. I want it to be masked for my security. I will not like to protect this variable right now. That is fine. What is the name of the key? I can give any name. That's all. And what is the value? Because I have used the same value as token inside my GitLab script. So I'm using token. And what is the value? Value is this. I have copied that. So that is my token value. So one variable has been created. What is the next variable? So I will go to my notepad. In this, I have my access key. So what I will do, I will add another variable masked, expand the variable is okay, and I will say AWS access key ID, the name of the variable. It can be anything, but since I have used this one inside my GitLab script, so I'm using exactly the same variable name, and the value is this one. So I have added one more. Another one I will like to do it. I will pick this up as my security key, secret access key. I will masked, and this one is again AWS secret access key, and I have given this. So I have basically what I'm doing here is I am making this environment. Now this CI/CD environment is only accessible to the owner who has created this project, not to my developers, not to my testers, not to my operations guy, though I will be adding them into my project. But that is the security, that you being the team lead or administrator, you are only going to have an access to all this thing, because you should not expose all the values to others. So fine, I have added all the necessary variables. Now let me see whether my, so what happened? Did I not? Oh, another one I would like to do is my, I will like to create a key called username. That is required because to access to this account, to my GitLab account, Devashish GIF, I have this account name, add the variable. That's all. I have created these 4 variables, which is only accessible by me, nobody else. That is the security. Everyone can see this, but nobody can access the variables and all those stuff. They are hidden. So let me go back to my pipeline. So there is a warning. I will click on this because it failed with a warning that there is no access. Authentication failed. Now I'm giving that authentication. So I will again run again. This portion failed. Let me see if it is, if it will work now. I will go and click on this to get my log screen. As it is running, it will show me what's happening. You see that it is using a GitLab runner, a shared runner in this case, using a Docker, because the Docker machine is used as an executor, while because we are using the Docker images. Can you see the job succeeded? The configuration is valid because I have said Terraform init. So all the plugins were, the provider plugins were installed, and the Terraform has been successfully initialized. And there is the backend created, initialized the backend in the very HTTP, this particular portion. So once my first job has been run successfully, will it invoke the next job automatically? No. Right now, I have made all the jobs as manual because I wanted to check. See, if I had not made it manual, it will automatically fail and it will be very difficult for me to debug. So I will run the next job plan. Click on this. And you see, again, this job is getting executed with the Docker executor, with the Docker, with the GitLab runner. A runner needs to be there because we have seen in our theory, the job succeeded. Why? Because you see, our plan is, what is the plan? The plan says that you are going to create AWS instance, one resource. The plan says you are going to create AWS S3 bucket, right? The plan says you are going to use the AWS S3 bucket ACL. The plan says you are going to use the AWS S3 bucket ownership control one more resource. And the plan says you want to create another resource called AWS S3 bucket public access block. You are making them false. That is one resource. Another resource was bucket versioning. And another resource was AWS security group. So in all, you desired, you declared 7 resources to be added. And okay, that's good. And immediately once the plan has executed, can I go to my operate, and can I see if the Terraform state has been created with the plan? I click on Terraform state. Can you see just now, updated 1 minute ago, a DevOps Terraform internship, the DevOps internship Terraform state, the state file has been created as per your variable name. So in that address, this is on the internet HTTP backend. So our things are going as per our design pipeline. But in the meantime, will the plan create your, let me go to my EC2 instance. Is the EC2 instance created with the plan? No. You go to your instances. Are you being able to see there is no instance, right? There are no instance yet because the plan does not create. What creates? The apply, the next stage. So I will again go, see, it is the 2 stages have passed. I will go because the plan, the thing is not yet completed. I will go to the next job called apply job. Now this is the time when actually Terraform is going to create those resources, 7 resources. Again, because each time the Terraform image, the Terraform light will be used. So therefore, a Docker Docker executor should be there. See, we're using Docker executor with the image HashiCorp Terraform light. Fantastic. You are doing in the pipeline. Yes, your apply has completed. 7 resources have been added. Your job is succeed. So you were seeing that your AWS S3 bucket ACL was creating and creation completed. So all these 7 resources were created. Okay, let me go back to my pipeline. Will I do the destroy? No, unless and until I verify what was the output. So where will I go? I will go to my AWS and I will refresh it. Will you find that instance created? Oh, sorry. It should be in the Mumbai region, right? So I will go to my Mumbai region. Did you see that this was the instance name? Do you remember that in our Terraform script, we have given the instance name as Internship EC2 instance, the tag name? And do you remember that we have given it a T2 medium? It was initially with T2 micro, but we have changed it to medium. So as per your desire, you have done it. It is in the running state. It has generated the instance ID. Now let me go towards the right. Can you see, as we have given the subnet ID, it has picked up the AP South 1A, that is the availability zone, where your server has been created in this data center. Your public IP address has been generated. And can you see your internship group? The security group, by the name internship underscore SG, it was created and attached. And what about the key pair? This is for authorization and this is for authentication. The key pair was DevOps internship root, the PEM file, as somebody said. And what about your security group? Earlier there was two. Now you'll see that there is one more added because you have created this one. So if I click on this and if I go to my inbound rule, I will edit the inbound rule. That is the, did you see that you have created SSH and HTTP rules? You have allowed any device to connect. This is the ingress rule. And if you go back, you say the outbound rules, edit the outbound rules. So everything was created. Did you see the all traffic? Okay. So any question? Another thing was done was the S3, right? S3. Earlier there was no S3 bucket. Now your Terraform over the pipeline has created your S3. Can you see now the bucket is loading? You have this bucket, my S3 bucket DevOps internship, isn't it? That was created. Who has created? Terraform has created over the pipeline. And there was no objects loaded. Fine. Properties. Will you see the version enabled? Yes, the bucket version is enabled. It was initially disabled. What about the permissions? We have done a few things on the permission side. You see, did you not take out all the block, the public access that was blocked? You have made it, you have taken it, you had made it false. Earlier it was all blocked, but now it has been taken out. But you have not done it manually. You have done it over the pipeline with the Terraform script. The object ownership, did you not change it to bucket owner preferred? Yes. And what about the access control list? You also have changed that. This is for the owner, or owner will always have a list write or a read write permission on the bucket. But now you see everyone, public access is enabled, and a public can also from outside can read and write. But it is of course with a warning sign because it is a security violation. But whatever, you see, you are doing everything from outside using Terraform and using a pipeline. Right now, the pipeline is not automated. Before it is automated, okay, let me do some change in the pipeline. I think you have another 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I will be able to do that. So I will go back to my pipeline. So everything, I'm very happy with what has happened. So first of all, I will destroy the job or all the resources, and then I will make it automated. I don't want to do anything manually. Everything should be automated under my control. So I have destroyed all the resources that I have created, because I'm going to I will execute the same thing again, but now automatically. You will see the pipeline working automatically. First of all, let all the resources be cleared off. I don't think there are many people around. Yes, I guess so. It is only 13. It's okay. Even if I can impart this knowledge to even 1%, that is, I'm happy. So it is destroying the 7 resources. It will list. The job succeeded, no issue. So how many resources destroyed? 7. You have created 7 because where it is getting all this information, it is getting all the information from the state file, which is on the HTTP that endpoint. So it destroyed the 7 files, 7 resources. Let me check. Let me go to Amazon S3. Let me go to the buckets. I will refresh it. No buckets because the bucket was destroyed. Okay, with all the resources, with all the properties and permissions. So let me go back to my EC2. What happened to my EC2? What happened to my virtual server? Is it still there? I don't think so. What do you think? Under the Mumbai region, can you see this is terminated? Terminated means it is destroyed. It will not have any public IP address because it is destroyed. Okay, now this last 5 minutes, I will just quickly change my, sorry, where was it? I will quickly change my code, go to the repository. I will come to the pipeline. I will open my pipeline script. And I will edit with my single edit file. What I will do? Anyone, any idea what I'm going to do? Anyone, any idea? I will change the manual to always, to automate it. I will change the manual to this job as always, always. But I will keep the destroy job manual because I don't want to destroy it automatically. Then what's the deal? I will commit the changes. So once I do it, automatically the pipeline will start executing. Okay, I will quickly go to my build pipeline. Can you see the pipeline is running automatically? I did not run it manually. So let me see. I will not go to this thing. See, it has started the job. Validate job first. Let us wait over here. So immediately once it has completed with the right sign passed, immediately the planned job has started. Did you see? It is running. So I have not done anything manual. Now, immediately it has passed and it has gone to the apply job automatically. But it will not go to the destroy job because destroy job is manual. It will stop over here after it has passed. Apply will take a bit of time because it is creating the instance, creating all those resources. Oh, yes, fantastic. So can I go there? My pipeline has executed automatically successfully. So can I go there and I will refresh this, refresh this. Can you see this instance has been again created and running with the same sort of parameters? Okay, I will copy this. I will go to S3 bucket. Let me see whether the bucket has been created. It should be. You see this bucket has been created. My S3 bucket again, it was created. You will see the property is enabled, the versioning is enabled, and the permissions the same thing. Same thing. So everything was done again, but this time automatically. And I will go to my putty to just create an instance. Just internship, and only I will change the IP address. And what else do I need to change? I will need to change my SSH authentication key, the credential. This credential is, I will have to take. I will go to my, I have kept it somewhere. Yeah, this is my converted PPK file. And once I have done that, because I wanted to check whether I can connect to it, I will save it. Save it and open it. Yes, I will be able to connect to it. What did I connect to? I have gone from using my SSH connect, okay, which is working on port 22 with the key pair. What was the key pair? DevOps internship root dot ppk or PEM, whatever. So with that, we have logged in. Can you check the internal IP address 172.31.0.197? Let me check. I will go over here. I will go to my EC2. And you see, this has 172.31.0.197. So does it prove that you have logged into this particular instance from outside? This is all for today. I will thank you very much for your patience and your really perseverance, because it is not very easy. You have been there for almost 4 hours now. It is not at all easy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry, please. Is this recorded?
Yes, it is recorded. I will give it to you after. It will just give us 1 or 2 days. It will be there. We will send it into our, that WhatsApp group. I have to
Okay,
rush
thank you.
through. I have to rush
Hello?
through because that's I didn't have the scope to go into much details. But you will
Hello.
get the record. Yeah, wisdom. Yes,
I
please.
want to ask. Yes, the same way you configure the job to automatically run later after the manual setup to automatically run, and you stop at destroyed. Can the destroy also be automatically programmed to like destroyed, like maybe like a week later or 2 days later?
But the thing is, if you destroy it automatically, then your manager want to see how your pipeline is working. How will you demonstrate? So it will go to create the resources, and immediately after the apply, what will it do? It will destroy. So finally, you will not get any resources. So what will you display or demo to your manager or your project team lead or to business owner that the pipeline is exactly working, or to your operations guy who wanted to deploy some application over? So something we are going to do the next weekend is we will now put one more job, Ansible job, and we will install a web server onto that installed instance. Why I have kept destroy? Because I don't want to manually destroy the resources, and it is not preferable, because if you are not using any resource, please remove it, because otherwise you will be billed. AWS is not going to leave you. They will see that some resource is running, even if it is not being used, you will be charged. So yeah, when you work in an organization, you do not need to worry about destroy part. You do not need to destroy anything. But here, because we are just having a demo and post demo, like now, I will go back to my this thing in my pipeline. I will go back, and after I'm very happy that whatever I desired to do was done, was achieved, then I will go and actually run the destroy, because it was waiting for me to run it manually. So because I don't wanted it to run automatically. So it will destroy the job. You can rest assured it will work. So this much for today. I think we had a full 2 hour session. Sorry for that. I'm very sorry, because you are already 4 hours into this program. So I am, yes, wisdom. I will just stop the recording. Just 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Yes, wisdom. Tell me. You had a question.